shows the Weekend Doug Update studio desk with Norm MacDonald seated behind the desk. Pardo. It's Weekend Doug Update with Norm MacDonald. MacDonald. Hello. Welcome to Weekend Doug Update. I'm Norm MacDonald. Charlie Rocket is currently in Gaza covering the war, and we'll get to him shortly. Our top story is, of course, the war waging in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas, which started when Hamas executed a surprise attack on Israel. Israel has since declared war on Hamas and has cut off food, water, electricity, and food supplies to the Gaza Strip. In a very unsurprising development, Hamas chairman Ismail Haniyeh is having lots of trouble finding work in Hollywood. Now let's send it to Charlie Rocket in Gaza. Charlie? Shows Charlie Rocket surrounded by Hamas soldiers. Rocket. Unfortunately, Norm, Hamas is convinced that because of my last name, that I am a weapon to be used against Israel. The henchmen grab Rocket and place him into a rocket launcher. Rocket. It appears, Norm, that I'm going to be launched into Israel on behalf of Hamas, and all I can say in response is, fuck. Back to you, Norm. MacDonald. That's too bad, Charlie. At least you won't be causing that much damage. Now, to talk about the Israeli-Hamas conflict is John Belushi and Chris Farley. Gentlemen, Chris Farley and John Belushi are seated behind the desk. Applause, applause, applause. Farley. Lost in this conflict is a humanitarian disaster that is going to be caused to the Palestinian people living in the Gaza Strip who had nothing to do with the surprise attack on Israel. So much innocent life is going to be lost based on Israeli aggression. Belushi. Chris, you fat, ignorant slut. Hamas has acted like animals and they will be treated accordingly. MacDonald. Okay, that was Chris Farley and John Belushi, everybody. Applause, applause, applause. MacDonald. There are now reports of babies being beheaded during Hamas attacks. And that's not just a circumcision reference. It's referring to the babies' actual heads, not their penis heads. In other news, the writer's strike is now over, meaning that the porn industry can get back to work writing the pointless storylines that precede the sex. Senator Bob Menendez has been charged with taking bribes from Egyptian officials. Senator Menendez denied the charges, calling the whole situation a pyramid scheme. 4 of the former Ohio State University wrestlers who have accused Representative Jim Jordan of failing to protect them from a sexual predator when he was the team's assistant coach in the 1980s and 90s said Tuesday he has no business being the next Speaker of the House. In his defense, Jordan responded by saying that the wrestlers were asking for it as they voluntarily chose to grapple with other sweaty men on a mat. And finally, our last story, Dead from the Earth, We're Not Alive. It's Saturday Not Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, and with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest and host, Ricky Nelson. Everybody, Ricky Nelson. Applause, applause, applause. Shows Ricky Nelson on stage who says, thank you, but I was born in 1940. I'd prefer Rick to Ricky at this point. Anyway, I was a musician and an actor, and starting at age 8, I starred alongside my family on the radio and eventually television series, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. And in 1957, I started a long and successful career as a solo recording artist. Applause, applause, applause. Nelson. And in February of 1979, during its fourth season, I had the privilege of hosting Saturday Night Live. During the monologue, I played 3 different songs, so I thought I'd do the same thing here. Norm Macdonald comes out. Macdonald. Hey, Ricky. Nelson. It's actually Rick now. Macdonald. Yeah, sure, if you say so. Now listen, Ricky. Nelson. Now listen, sir. I'm not entirely sure who you are, but I'm telling you, don't call me Ricky again. Macdonald. That's fine, but the reason I came out here is that the producer of this show, Joe King, wanted me to let you know that he doesn't want you to play any songs during the monologue, lest he has to pay money for the rights. Nelson. So you're telling me that a producer who's made his whole show based on the likenesses of dead people, all of a sudden he's worried about rights? Macdonald. That's right. Nelson. Well, hell, I'm a musical artist. What else am I supposed to do during the monologue? Macdonald. Well, that's your problem, Ricky. Nelson punches Macdonald. Macdonald punches Nelson back and the two begin boxing. Eventually, Nelson knocks Macdonald to the ground. Macdonald. Okay, you win. It's Rick. As Macdonald crawls off stage, Nelson says, I don't care what the producer says. I'm giving you all a song. Nelson picks up a guitar and sings, Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And so I come to you, my love, my heart above my head. Though I see the danger there, if there's a chance for me, then I don't care. Fools rush in where wise men never go, but wise men never fall in love. So how are they to know? When we met, I felt my life begin. So open up your heart and let this fool rush in. Applause, applause, applause. Nelson. Thank you. We have a great show tonight. I'm here, so get ready for a garden party. We'll be right back.